Hey everyone, welcome into another video. This is Nicole Spohr, and today I'm sharing a Spellbinders Large Die of the Month Club Kit project featuring the July 2019 Large Die of the Month Club Kit dies called 3D Fun Time Cruiser. This awesome set of dies creates a three-dimensional bike with basket, or you can use it flat to create cards. I really thought it would be fun to create the dimensional bike today, something that I could use as decor in my craft room or give as a gift to someone else. I have die cut the components and I'm going to go ahead and assemble the bicycle. I'm using the main part of the bike and then this little tabbed piece here that I have bent in. You can see they fit together, they have little notches in them. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside while I assemble the wheels. I've set the 4 dies over there to the right that I used to die cut the components for the wheels on my bicycle. The colors of cardstock I'm using are Fun Stamper's Journey Tin Pail, Fun Stamper's Journey Rock Candy, some silver cardstock. This is actually left over from the large card kit of the month for July. And then we're using some Fun Stamper's Journey Cool Pool cardstock. These are the main colors for the bicycle. I'm going to repeat the assembly for several of the wheels. You can create doubles of all of these if you want to put them back to back so that one side of the bike looks as nice as the other. I had intended to do that for all of the wheels. I did it on the front wheel and I kind of forgot for the back wheels, and I wish I would have. I am going to be making more of these, and the next time I will make them back to back because you can see the white side, and I want to be able to see that dark gray, the rock candy wheel when you look through. It's not super noticeable, but just a little tip: if you are going to be making the dimensional bike, you might want to do that. So I have adhered these 4 pieces together for each of the wheels and set them aside to completely dry. And then we're going to grab the handlebars. The handlebars also have a score line on them, and they are going to be glued directly to the front of the bicycle. You can see how it lines up with that rounded top of the main piece. Now, something that helps me when assembling lots of little bits and pieces like this is a pair of craft tweezers. I use mine all the time, and it's going to pinch those little pieces together so that the liquid adhesive really secures and is nice and flat as it dries. As I'm assembling the bicycle, you're going to see me use my tweezers a lot, as it really helps be able to assemble everything quickly and easily. Now that I have the handlebars on either side of the front of the bike, I used my tweezers there to pinch that together. And then I'm going to take this long little piece, and there's 2 of these, and we're going to adhere those to both sides. This really kind of sandwiches the front part of the bike, and it adds a lot of stability. By having those 2 pieces on either side of that front piece, because the back of the bike has the baskets and 2 wheels to help balance it out, you're going to want something for the front, and those 2 long pieces provide a lot of nice structure to the bicycle. I've also die cut the handlebars twice from Tin Pail cardstock, and we're going to adhere these back to back, sandwiching the handlebar pieces from Cool Pool that we just applied to, or adhered rather, to the bike. This is so that the handlebars look nice on either side as well. Again, I'll use my tweezers throughout this process to pinch that all together and hold it all in place really nicely. After we have our handlebars in place, we can go ahead and glue the petals in place. They all line up fairly easily. You can kind of follow the guideline here. And you can position the petals however you wish. I did die cut part of it from this silver foil cardstock and part from tin pail, and then I'm going to glue these on either side of the bike. Lining these up. This again, anything that has multiple layers of cardstock is just going to help give some nice stability to the design. We'll use our tweezers to pinch that little tiny foot pedal down in place so that it stays put. Then we can glue our wheels to the front of the bike. So this is the front, and we're going to have one on the front, and then I'm going to go ahead and add glue to the back. And I actually should have added glue all the way around this wheel, and I'll go in and do that here in a second. And we'll put some glue down, line this up perfectly, and that's really going to make this look nice and finished. And then I will use the tweezers to pinch this together as well. 2 layers for this front wheel I would really recommend, because I think along with those 2 long pieces we put down the front, this adds a nice bit of structure to the bicycle. On the back little tabs, we can go ahead and adhere the wheels. Now, before you adhere them to the tab, this is where you would have wanted to put them back to back. So if you wanted to double these up and have these have both the front and back finishing pieces, glue those together before you glue it to the tab on the bicycle. Just kind of add that to the little tab there, and I'm using my tweezers to pinch that in place. Really helps secure it while the glue is drying. I'm always a big fan of whatever I can do to make sure everything stays nice and flat and in place while I am working on other parts of the design. Now for the bicycle seat, I'm going to place one on one side and one on the other, pinching the little piece between those, and then we'll use our tweezers to hold that in place. And for the most part, or not even the most part, this is the base of the bicycle completely finished. Now comes the fun embellishing part. The basket is so super cute. If you go to the Spellbinders YouTube channel, you can see some great examples. If you don't put the bottom in the basket, you can fold the bicycle flat and send it in an envelope. I am putting the bottoms in my basket to make this just stay 3D always. But if you want it to be able to be more of a pop-up, don't put the bottoms in the basket. Don't die cut that top piece that you see along the top part of the screen. Now, something else I totally love is in the basket, you can choose to die cut the basket shape as is, or you can use this awesome basket weave die with it, which is what I use because I love the texture. It's super cute. My basket is die cut from Tin Pail Fun Stampers Journey cardstock, and I am simply assembling 2 portions of the basket here. So we're going to have one in the front on one side and one on the other side, and that's going to allow us to have kind of a pretty big basket. I really think these would be very cute as table decorations or party favors. You could put little treats, candies, other little things in these baskets if you want to, or like I said, you can use them as office or craft room decor. I did die cut the Fun Times sentiment from silver foil cardstock and Cool Pool cardstock, and I'm going to layer those together and adhere those to my basket. You might notice the design of this is going to work with Truckin' Through the Seasons, so you can change out any of those sentiments from Truckin' Through the Seasons or So Many Sentiments with this and completely create another kind of bike. For example, a Christmas one, I think it would be very cute to do a Valentine's Day themed bike. These would be awesome Valentines, I think, to give to people. Maybe start now. There are quite a few steps to put this bicycle together, but maybe for those special people, they would be really, really cute. Okay, so I adhered one side of my basket to the bike, and now I'm going to take the other side and just pop that in place with some adhesive, and I'm going to use my tweezers to hold it in place so it's nice and secure. Once we have those baskets on the back of the bike, we can embellish to our heart's content. And Spellbinders has so many amazing dies, so you can really decorate this in all kinds of ways. The July large die of the month does come with several greenery type pieces you can see there, and some flowers, which is what I'm going to use. I've also stamped and embossed this little card that says keep calm and make cards. I did this using a Altenew stamp set that I had in my stash, stamped it with clear embossing ink and heat embossed with silver embossing powder to tie into the silver elements on my bicycle. I thought this would be cute since we are card makers, and just as a little decoration and reminder on the shelf, it would be really fun. Then we can take the vines and the flowers and just start building the decor. I'm going to have the taller vine in the back and then have some flowers on those little round notches. The tweezers are going to make adhering all of these little pieces to the bicycle and basket much easier. I've die cut my flower elements from Fun Stamper's Journey, Watermelon Fusion, Candy Apple, Banana Cream, Orange Creamsicle, and Lemongrass cardstocks. Now, some of the smaller flowers you see in the finished design actually come from another kit. I think it's last month's. I'm almost 100% positive that it's last month's large die of the month. So the June large die of the month club kit, that is where those come from, and that's the slider window card. And we're simply going to just keep building our florals all over. Now, I wanted to balance out the florals in the basket. The back of the bicycle definitely has more going on than the front. And in order to balance this out really beautifully, I'm going to put some florals along that front wheel, add some greenery into those, and it just really looks so, so pretty. I love how this turns out. I'm using the Stylus tip on my Spellbinders tool-in-one to kind of give my flowers a little bit more of a rounded shape to them. And we're going to add not only flowers into the basket area on those long vines, but we'll have a couple of little clusters or flowers and leaves at the top left corner of the sentiment on the front of the basket and the bottom right. And then we'll have a trio of flowers and some greenery around the wheel of the front of the bicycle. Some of the additional small flowers that come from the June 2019 Large Die of the Month Club kit that I'm using, I actually had left over from another project. I like to keep a little muffin tin of all my little florals, especially when I'm working with all these little florals. I'll die cut a bunch of them, and then I put them in this little ceramic muffin tin, and I can just grab different colors and add them to projects as I'm working. Well, I had tons of these left over, and so I went ahead and just grabbed some of those. I had die cut a bunch of new ones from this month's, the July Large Die of the Month Club kit, but I loved how those little ones worked and how they looked used with these other florals, and so that really worked out nicely. Tweezers come in really handy for precise placement when using these delicate dies. It allows you to keep your fingers out of liquid glue as well. You could definitely add even more greenery, florals, all the things if you want to. If I didn't have a sentiment that I wanted to be able to read in the back, I think I would have added even more. And another idea is to use the July Small Die of the Month Club Kit dies, which is the Besties Forever dies, which features the little dog and the cat. You could tuck those into the basket, which I think would be darling. So I have just a few more little flowers. These are those little ones I was talking about from the June Large Die of the Month Club Kit. We'll add just a couple more to the front wheel to balance out the design. And you can see that the bicycle really does become nice and sturdy. Another idea is if you want the main frame of the bike to be a little bit more stable, I would die cut it twice and glue those back to back. And that's just going to give the body of the bike a little bit more firm texture. All the little flower centers are also from this die collection, and I'm just using whatever's left over. Each of the flower shapes included in this month's die collection have a large and a small, and then these little round flower centers. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this bicycle created with the Spellbinders Large Die of the Month Club Kit dies for July 2019. The supplies I used to create this project are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more projects featuring Spellbinders dies that you might be interested in. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.